Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along. Monday night, 8 p.m. can mean only one thing. The Online Darts Live Land returns with me, Phil Bars, and Jarlath Eaton tonight. Only two of us. Dan had an SOS and got called to work. Normally, his golden rule is he doesn't travel on a Monday, but something came up this morning. We got the message. It wasn't planned. I'm sure he'll be in the chat room watching, but the internet in the hotel not stable enough for him to get a decent enough connection. So you've got the two of us this evening. How you doing, lad? You all right?
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. I mean, we have both had extraordinarily busy weekends, although very different things. My voice is absolutely shot because I have been doing swimming announcing this weekend. Very excited for a weekend off, I must admit. And you, my friend, looking like more normal now rather than in a suit. What the
normal attire has been.
Yes. you are sponsored by Under Armour. It would be incredible. But how first of all, before we go any further, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Mason. It looked a beautiful day. How was it, my friend? Can you give us an exclusive? Did you get to sit down with Mace? That's the first thing.
We laughed, and Charlotte looked at us after say, "Don't you dare." No, it was a lovely day, a lovely little intimate ceremony, which was nice. Charlotte looked amazing. Mace looked dapper as always. The speeches were great, and I loved Mace's speech. For anyone that was there, when you know, it was just a lovely day. And the evening do was really nice as well. But yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Mason, an unbelievable day. I say the bride looked incredible. Mace was just Mace, like loving life the way he was, and yeah, it was good. We had a really nice table as well, which sat down. There was plenty of chits out across the whole day. It was just really, really good.
Did I see that Wazza was his best man?
Yes.
Yes, which is very, very good. The two of them working together for the two of them working together. The two of them worked together for 15 years, so no surprises there. But yeah, in the words of Cody Rhodes, so what do you want to talk about? Has there anything happened today, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying to work out. Have I missed something?
To be fair, today's show, it was like, right, we can get to talk about some other niche bits that perhaps we want to talk about but haven't had time. Rip the script up. We'll bin that. Before we dive in, let's dive into the chat room as always. Dal, how we doing? Kate is in. Gordo, Adam, both Adams are in. Yeah, not much to chat about tonight. Kieran, how we all doing? Afternoon, evening, everyone. Paul is in. Owen, Kelly, how we doing? Chelsea, James, Owen, Mark, how we doing, buddy? James, Rob, evening, my friend. No, James, before saying, spoken, my Dan isn't here this evening. Lendl, how we doing, mate? Jimmy is in. Yeah, well, don't worry, Adam. We will talk about that young lady very, very shortly indeed. Quinton is in from South Africa. We will talk about Little as Nine Data in air, I think it was.
I didn't see it. I've seen nothing.
Yeah. Wayne, how we doing? Robbie's in. Bobsy. Ollie, how we doing, mate? I'll tell you what, it is rammed already. Look, let's go. There's only one place to start. It is hot off the press.
It's obviously what happened on the development tour this weekend.
Correct. But ironically, we'll come on to this. At the wedding table yesterday, myself, Nico, and Mark Wilson were all having this discussion about a wider point, which we'll come on to in a minute. But you couldn't write it. The fact we were only talking about it this time yesterday, and the last part of the puzzle was coming into place. Scary. But first of all, more history made in the PDC. Bo Greaves, the first female to win a senior PDC ranking title, winning Players' Championship 11 in Milton Keynes. And she was stunning all day long. What a final as well. Just an unbelievable time, Jar. And look, everyone said when she got her card, she would win a title within 2 years.
What did I say on the? Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, what did I say to you on the very first live lounge of 2026 when I came back and did the World Championship review show.
Yeah.
That Bo Greaves will win at least one senior ranking title this year. I wasn't laughed at, but people thought, really?
No, I think most agreed that it was going to happen. And
yeah,
look,
there's a couple. Yeah, most people in the know in darts knew that was going to happen. I didn't expect it before May. I have to be honest.
No, she settled to life very, very well, and it was interesting that her interview afterwards was very moving. And she was like, I've done all right so far. I've picked up ranking and I've done all right, but I don't feel like I've played well yet. But today,
wow,
I can't remember exact words, but she knew she played well today. And the way that she could break her own game down was brilliant.
Well, here's the thing, right? So she goes, it's not like as well that she's had an easy path. You know, Aidan Kirk, 6'4", Thomas Love is 6'4", Jeffrey Spiradan 6'2". That's when I think she started to possibly believe a little bit. She then beat Carol Sipacek, get into the quarterfinals. 97.13 average. All good a day. She then goes and defeats the 2018 world champion Rob Cross, 6'5", averaging 102.5. She then demolishes Gary Anderson, 7'1", averaging 105.56. And then in her first PDC final, takes on the 2023 world champion Michael Smith, goes 2-0 down, then wins 4 on the spin. Then Smith comes back, gets a 7-all. Smith hits, so Smith has got 162 left. Bo's got 142 left. Smithy then hits 142 to leave double 10. And then Greaves took it out. I mean, it was honestly astonishing. It was just astonishing darts. And look, with all the talk about the mixed events and all that sort of stuff that's happened recently, it's just so good that we can talk about women's darts and not have an argument and not have trolls going about stuff. And on another note, more than anything for Bo, Barzi, you and I have both known Bo for a number of years in terms of the talent that she's had. We both saw it when she was about 14, 15, and was like, oh, this girl can play. This girl can really play. And in that final, as Gordon there mentions there, she reeled in the fish. Fishy. You know, it was, and also we'll come on to Michael Smith in a minute because we need to shout out about him because it's great to see him back in finals. But I cannot stress enough how this is already a seismic moment in darts. It's so seismic.
Huge.
It's just because at this point now, we've got a woman winning a Pro Tour. It's unbelievable. Yeah, and Paul mentioned she beat Lisa in a ranked of an age 11. You know, I have sat here for, well, not on this particular show, but on this channel for the last 5 years. I have consistently said, whenever I've been fortunate to be in this seat and be on the live lounge, that I think that Bo will be the first woman to get into the top 32. And I genuinely believe that. She is a talent. And she's just so, and the thing is now, where can she go? Where can she go? Like, you've got to think that, you know, yes, some of the big boys in terms of the top 16 aren't going to be at the Pro Tours this year. That's fine. It is what it is. But it gives her more opportunities to win them. 100%. And I do think she can.
100%. And look, where can she go? Look, the talent is unprecedented. We know how good that Bo is. Now it's up to her. It's up to her where that talent goes. And I said this on stream today because there was a couple of times, I think Rob, who's in the chat room, was saying it as well, that at times the action wasn't smooth. And I said this, and I said, I think, look, the action is always going to have issues. Let's not hide from it. The action is always going to have stuttery points in it because of everything she's come through to get to where she is now. However, she has found a way and a coping mechanism of dealing with the action issues in a tournament, and she's found a way to sort them out and iron them out as she goes, which is a massive thing for her. Because I say, it wasn't smooth at times, but then you could see her reset herself, and it just found a way to work. And the game against Gary was unbelievable because Gary had just come off 108 average in the quarterfinals and a 9 data and so on, and he was flying. And Bo just did everything right. The big moments were just a pleasure to watch. And look, this is the first of many. Is the thing now that because she always said that she couldn't win one of these, and even in her interview afterwards, she was like, "I never thought I'd win one of these." Now she's won one. The confidence is there, and she believes she can now go on and win. Once you've won one, there's nothing to say you can't do it again. Michael Smith, everyone said as soon as he won one, he would win another TV tournament, and so on. And once you get over the line once, you can do it again and again.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more to say, is there? Like, at the end of the day, we saw that in the first Pro Tour, the first block of Pro Tours, didn't we? We sat here again and said, do you know what? That she's got to win on that Pro Tour. That's big. It's not something that's, hanging on her at that point. She got to, I think, maybe the round of 16, potentially, the first block of Pro Tours, maybe the first two. So there was progress there. And now, I'm pretty sure, you will tell me if I'm wrong, Barsley, I'm sure, and so will everybody else in the chat. I don't think she's made a European Tour event yet, has she?
No. I
don't think so.
That's been one of the biggest surprises this year.
Yeah,
she has.
Absolutely.
So, one of the big surprises.
Yeah, and so, again, I don't believe there is a Euro Tour qualified this week either.
No, there's not.
No. So, that's a bit of a shame for her. But off the back of that, I still believe that if there's a Pro Tour, if she can somehow get to a Euro Tour, if she can get to Euro Tour 9 in Slovakia, I reckon she's got a shot at the match play. I really do. No, I tell you the reason why, PB. I tell you the reason why. Because, as Jimmy says there was back-to-back Pro Tours, back-to-back quarterfinals on the Pro Tour. Okay, I'm not saying she's going to go and win 114 straight games like she did in the Women's Series. Forgive me if that's the way I'm coming at this. But if she were to go and get into another deep run, right? If she goes on another deep run, a quarterfinal, semi-final, potentially in the next block of Pro Tours, she'll be right there in the mix. If she wins another one, in the next couple of weeks, there's a couple more coming up. If she wins another one, mate, she is right there. I mean, she's obviously right there for the Grand Prix. We know that.
I think the Grand Prix is more realistic than the match play.
If she can win one more Pro Tour, I think she's got a huge shot of going to Blackpool. I really do. As Jimmy also says there, sorry, one more thing, mate. She's fifth on the reserve list for Graz, of all places. Now, tell me that people won't be pulling out of Graz.
The problem is they've already pulled out. So the seeds get bumped up. They use the reserve list once. So I don't think we'll see her for that reason because they've already all pulled out.
You just don't know.
Nothing would please me more. This isn't a negative because I would love to see Bo at the Winter Gardens in both the women's and the main match play. But I think the Grand Prix is more realistic at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that. But all I'll say is that she's only at the moment, she is about 22 grand off the match play places right now. If she were to go and win a Pro Tour again before the match play blocks, that's only 7 grand she's got to take away. And as people have said in the chat room,
another one, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying right now, but if she were to go and win another Pro Tour, maybe tomorrow, she may go and double up. Now, who knows? But if she were to go win another Pro Tour, she's right in the mix there. And as Paul and Jimmy have said in the chat room there, taking Sunday off the development tour, I thought was a very, very, very smart move as well. 100%.
100%. It's a massive ask to do 5 days back to back.
There was a joke in the chat room as well that she says she won't want to stay at 65. She could play Dev Tour and Women's Series. But if she keeps on winning, she's now up to 79th in the world now, right? That's on the order of merit. If she were to go and win another one, then she'd be going up to about 74th. But I just think the sky is so the limit. I think I think as well, we remember that game. And again, I know it's only a best of 11, but do you remember that game last year in the World Youth Championship semi-final? We will never see, and it's so gutting that we will never see footage of it, but that was possibly the game of the year, in my opinion. It was the game of the year.
It was unbelievable.
And she's got so much talent about her. She's got so much talent about her. Ridiculous. And James has said there, she's guaranteed the slam because realistically she will be at the top of the women's series or win the women's match play. She's guaranteed the worlds for that exact reason. And probably now. What's that, sorry?
Minehead as well.
I was about to say she's fifth already on the Pro Tour, 32.25 grand. That should just about get you there if she didn't pick up any more money, which I don't think she will. I don't think will be a problem.
You would think so as well, and also, and look, I know this will cause controversy, but remember, women can't play with men.
Oh dear, Philip.
I stand by that. My belief that look is the women's game behind the men's game a lot. Yes, but again, my opinion is that's not because of ability, and we've seen and with the JDC pathway, and Bo came through that as well. And the more young girls and boys play together, and so on, the more the gap will narrow because they're on the same path, they're on the same trajectory. You've got to think there was a long period that women couldn't go in pubs and social clubs and so on to play the sport, so they're always behind. But the more through the pathways of the academies and so on that boys and girls of that age group play together, the gap will become narrower and narrower and narrower.
Well, you look at the development tour, right, on the PDC, Obviously, we know why it was set up because obviously the BDO were off, Barry offered the BDO to come over. They said, Holy Cross said no. So that's why obviously the Challenge Tour development tour was set up. But you look at the strength in depth on the development tour, it took, 13 years, I think.
About 15 years before we saw the fruit of that labour really come through.
This is the thing, I think it was 2023 was the first time that two players who had played on the development tour or the World Youth Final had contested the PDC World Darts Championship Final. That has now happened each of the last 4 years. Luke Humphreys, Luke Littler, Van Gerwen, Littler and Van Beek.
The labour are now there is the thing. And I genuinely believe in 15, 20 years' time with these pathways that women and boys, men competing in darts, the gap will be next to nothing. We're seeing it. Obviously, Bo competes, Fallon competes. And then, but we're seeing that younger crop come through in Paige Pauling, Sophie McKinley, and so on. I forget the young Hungarian girl's name as well.
Oh, yeah, she's the young Italian as well. The young Italian girl from the WDF.
But the more they compete at that level together, the more the pathway narrows, and thereon is the thing.
I mean, again, you look at the likes of, again, go back through the Dev Tour, as Julian points out, Nyman, Springer, Białecki, the talent's coming through there.
Yeah, 100% is the thing. And look, that will just continue to grow. And hopefully this inspires more girls to go down that pathway. And like we say, playing in the JDC events, the Power League and so on, which is really, really good, the JDC Advanced Tour. Then you move into the Dev Tour. Like the way, look, and again, I think this man gets overlooked a lot in what he done for this is Rod Harrington. When you go back, that dream that Rod Harrington had back in the day is now in full swing. That development tour, challenge tour, pro tour, or skip Dev Tour straight to Pro Tour if you're good enough. But that pathway and everything that was set up by Rod, and then I say Steve Brown as well, that again, Steve sacrificed a lot over those years to get the Steve Brown Academies to where they were, to the JDC and so on. It is superb to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible, and that's the thing. And like, what have I always said about stuff? unless you can see it, you can't be it. Women's sport as a whole at the moment is on a ridiculous trajectory. And I come at this obviously as the father of a daughter as well, which is fabulous to see. You know, you look at certainly just from an England point of view here, you look at the Lionesses, you look at the Red Roses, you look at the England women's cricket team as well. This summer have got a chance to win a home World Cup, a home T20 World Cup as well. I mean, you look at the likes of Katie Taylor in boxing, you look at the likes of Caitlin Clark in basketball that has just on the other side of the pond that has just taken sport to a new height, that WNBA to a new height when she came in there. Also Angel Reese too. This is the thing now, right? We are seeing more women compete in sport and compete to a higher standard. If you're going to say that the quality is less or that the standard is less, yes, of course it's going to be, because they're about 50 years behind the men, because the men were always given opportunities. Just because you don't want to watch it doesn't mean there are other people that do want to watch it. It's like for me, I absolutely adore women's cricket in particular. Out of all of the sports, I adore women's cricket. I think it's absolutely fabulous to watch. And if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. It comes back to that argument of Ricky Gervais, isn't it? Twitter's like having a town square and you putting up a sign saying, I'm offering guitar lessons. And then you coming on and going, but I don't, you want guitar lessons. That's essentially what it's like.
Exactly. But as I say, Bo is, again, she's setting the pathway, that trend for more to follow, which is great. The conversation that me, Paul, and Mark Wilson had yesterday was, which has the bigger effect, Bo winning a Pro Tour or Fallon winning at the Worlds?
I still think it's Fallon winning the Worlds.
I said locally or domestically, I think Bo, but internationally, Fallon. Yeah. With the greatest respect in the world, around the world, the Pro Tour doesn't get coverage. Don't get me wrong, UK and parts of Europe, 100% what Bo has done is remarkable and will make headlines. But absolutely, internationally, it won't make the same ripples. So we were saying that they're both incredible achievements, and they both should be celebrated. But they make ripples in different areas. Does that make sense?
Well, here's the simple fact is this, right? I mean, you've always talked about it from your you're still with current employment, but not as much as you used to. Your employment back in the day, back in 2019, on that night that Fallon won the World Championships against Ted, you got to sleep for about approximately an hour?
An hour.
If that, yeah. Like, because you were taking her to Good Morning Britain. You were talking
to BBC Breakfast. The WhatsApp chat was just like going off. And
everybody, like Billie Jean King was bloody tweeting about it for sake. You know, of all the big names in women's sport, Billie Jean King.
Yeah. But like I say, that I'm not doing Bo a disservice here, because like in the UK and in Europe, it will make massive waves and massive headlines.
And let's be frank here. Mark makes a good point in the chat room when he says that Bo's was more difficult.
I don't disagree.
I probably agree with that.
I don't disagree that Bo's was more difficult.
No, 100%. I mean, she's gone through 3 world champions in order to win this event. But
100. If you're judging it on degree of difficulty, Bo wins.
But let's just without wishing to sound like Rio Ferdinand, just enjoy him, man. Enjoy him, man.
That's what me, Mark, and Nico were saying. They're both incredible.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's fabulous, and like I said, and we've said it for a while. I still think she'll be top 32 within 2 or 3 years. You know, she has taken the biggest thing as well for Bo, and I think this is where I give her most credit, is that she's taken her time. She's taken her time. She's decided that she wasn't ready for the big stage at Ali Pali. And yes, we were all clamoring for it because we know how good she can be. But she decided that she wasn't ready until she was ready to then take up that opportunity. Then she's taken the opportunity when she feels ready. And now she's starting to build. And we've seen that with people before. You know, you look at the likes of Vessel Nyman. Yes, he's yet to do anything on television big, but he's winning on Pro Tours. He's making Euro Tour finals, and he's just starting to come through. And that is what Bo is doing as well. Look, I mean, people are saying, do you put Bo in the World Series? The only way I think that Bo would get a World Series spot is if she were to go and do something very, very big at the match play or something like that, potentially.
I'd like to see it.
Oh, no, I'd love it. I think it'd be great.
It's a shame they announced New York and Copenhagen
yes.
already, because if they hadn't, they perhaps could have shoehorned her into one of them. I know that this is on my point to talk about later on the World Series invites, which we will go into more detail of that later on. But would I like?
What's up?
I've just got a WhatsApp. I won't tell you from what player, but I messaged him during the day, and I've just got we've exchanged a couple of pleasantries, not pleasantries, but a thing. And the last one is, she's bloody brilliant.
Brilliant. she's fabulous. She's fabulous. She's fabulous.
So yeah, I would I send Bo to Australia? No, send to Australia and New Zealand sounds wrong. Would I invite Bo to Australia and New Zealand? 100% I would.
Do you reckon they would do though? Do you reckon they would? It depends on. I think if she, say for instance, she did make the match play, right, and she did go and win a couple of games there, get into a quarter final. I reckon they might. Yeah, I reckon they pull the trigger. But the thing is that James says that Australia clashed in the women's series, so Bo wouldn't go. If she's top 64, she can't play in it, and she might be at that point.
The other thing is, by then it would be too late. Remember when Johnny pulled out of Australia because of the passing of his father, which was the day after the match play?
Yes.
They couldn't sort working visas in time, so Damon Heta was bumped up from the lower one, and so I don't think in that period you can sort a working visa out in time.
Yeah, Mark asked there, have we ever seen Bo seeding yet, guys? No, of course we haven't. Of course we haven't. She's just gonna keep going and going and going. Like, this is the thing about Bo, right? Oh, well, she's 22. She's just turned 22 this year. I mean, this is where I compare. This is where Wonder Boy has done, and I don't wish to bring it back to him because this isn't about him, but what he's done there is that it's just made it impossible for anybody who is young and talented to always not be compared to him. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, Luke Littler has managed to go and win the World Darts Championship twice in 3 years and made the final every single year. But that doesn't diminish what Bo's done. And this is the thing about talking about seedings and comparison. Like we say, last time she played Luke Littler in the development tour in the World G Championship semi-final, it was the best game of the year. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what more to say, mate, because my words fail me on this point.
No, it's a massive kudos to Bo. But like we said, I know it clashes with the Women's Series Australia, but by then she might not be allowed to play in the Women's Series.
Well, this is the thing. If she, say, for instance, right, if she gets into the match play, chances are she's going to be top 64 by then because she'll have had to win a couple of other battles.
By then, she might not be allowed. So,
yeah. I mean, I can't remember which. I just, there are so many amazing moments where you look at Bo and you just go, she's got so much. I mean, even in that World Youth final against Van Veen itself at Minehead, you know, if she misses that, I think, was it a dart double 12? Was it for 5-4?
She had a dart to make it really interesting, really jazzy.
I think she would have either got it level or she might have actually gone in front because she went behind early doors. She did
I think it was to go level.
Yeah, but if she goes on that point, then she would have been incredible. You know, she's, and we say, Paul, to compare the ladies' game through Bo might be crazy, but the people need to be playing against that level to get better. That's how it works.
But is it crazy? We compared the men's game at the time to vintage Phil Taylor. Compared the men's game to vintage Michael Van Gerwen. We're now comparing the men's game to vintage Luke Littler. Right? With the greatest one in the world, is Nick Kenny on a level of Luke Littler? No. But we still compare. So we're not doing anything we don't do for the men.
But also, right, people are saying that she's miles off the match play. She's really not. She's 22 grand. That's all it is. I'm not saying that it's a definite that she's going to go. But if she wins another title, she'll be right in the mix. Right in the mix. There's still, 2 months to go before we even get to that point. How many more Pro Tours have we got before we get to the match play? Have a gander. And particularly if she gets to a Euro Tour, if she gets to ET9 in Slovakia, it's not done, is all I'm going to say.
Joel, to be fair, I use Nick Kenny because I looked up. I've got Darts ranking in front of me, and his is the name right in my eye line.
It's no disrespect to him.
No, I actually really like Nick, but he's right. He was just right in my eye line.
So right now, sorry, Matt. I'm just looking at this right now. Okay, when's the match play cut off? I think it's July, sometime in July. Right. Let's have a quick look. Where are we? Okay. So the cut-off for the match play, I'm going to guess, is either going to be the 7th of July, which is the final Players' Championship. That's Players' Championship 24. We've still got then, in that case, at least 12 Pro Tours to go before the match play. And there could be a Euro Tour, depending on how generous they're feeling. Because the Euro Tour finishes on the 12th of July in Leverkusen. So there could be still a couple of Euro Tours to go, right, before we even get to the draw for the match play.
Yeah.
So she might say she's miles off, but if she can pick up some big money and if she wins another title, she's right in the mix.
Yeah, I don't think she's there.
Oh, yet. No, don't get me wrong. No.
But she could be. I agree.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. But congratulations to her. Here's one then. Yeah, Rob says, here's one. Who would you back to get a match play spot? Vince to 10K off or Bo who's 20K off? I know the answer to that one, my friend. I know the answer to that one. For me, it isn't even close. I'd probably back Suter or Cross potentially ahead of. If you put Suter or Cross in there, I think there'll be a debate.
Cross played well today, to be fair.
Yeah, he did. Really well. Talking about players who play well, Michael Smith, fabulous. Absolutely fabulous to see him back.
This is the other bit that this is a real moment for Michael Smith as well. Okay, he's lost in the final, but to get back to a final from the injury nightmare Michael Smith has been through is remarkable. And he's a dart away. He's a unbelievable world-class finish away from winning another title again. And look, it's good to see Bully Boy back because darts is in a better place when Michael Smith is flowing and playing good darts.
Absolutely. I mean, look, people will have their favourites and people will do that, but I always have a lot of time for Bully Boy. He talked about this. Do you remember the 2019 match play final when he came into the press conference after and he broke down, because he thought that was going to be his. And from that moment on, I've always had a soft spot for Bully because he was so raw and authentic with the media at that particular time. And runners up don't normally do interviews, by the way. That's not what they do. Never have them,
100%.
And so for him to come in and do that, for him to be so, what's the word I'm looking for? To be so genuine and humble and talk about that for me always had a soft spot for Bully. So when I see him playing well, it's just fabulous.
I said it on the live stream today that there were times today where he didn't play well. But what he did show was an unbelievable character because he just dug in games and he was being pummeled at times. But he found a way to hang on to coattails and nick a leg here. And then he pants. So he showed a different side of his game, which I wasn't sure was there. But today it was. And then, like you say, he played really well in the final. So, look, there was encouraging signs here for Michael Smith, which is good.
Definitely. It's great. Fantastic. Like I say, Bully in that position, he hasn't performed great. It's like, his averages he won't be happy with. But averages are only a guide. They mean fuck all. All that matters is, did you get a W or did you not? And at the end of the day, what is he? What will that be now? He's about $9,000 off a match play spot, and he's into the green as well for the Grand Prix too. as well.
Correct.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
100%. It would be superb. But again, another glittering day for the sport. Bo winning on the Pro Tour. That it just continues to grow and flourish the sport, which is great, and it will continue to flourish because it's just the most exciting sport to be involved in. And we were having this conversation that I'm a casual snooker fan. When the Worlds is on, I'll watch it. But let's be fair, it's fucking boring as fuck when you've got to wait 3 days to win a game.
Yeah, agreed. I mean,
and the way, especially younger people, consume content and consume sport, consume films. Now they'll watch it on short clips. It has to be at a pace, and unfortunately, snooker needs to either adapt or it's going to struggle in this current climate of the way content's consumed.
Well, this is the thing, right? Okay, we can go into all the things about the snooks, and look, we are a darts show, so we need to keep that in mind.
Yeah, but it was just the comparison that we were
No. What I say, what I say about Snook, what I say about Snooks is that I couldn't give less of a shit unless it's the World Championships. And now that Ronnie's out, because obviously John Higgins beat him earlier today in an epic, I probably won't give a shit either way. But what I'm going to say is that having those multiple sessions, it just, and especially for people who may dip in and out, like it just doesn't work. Like if you've got, again, in the same breath, there's going to be 4 sessions of the World Final, isn't there? 4, is it? I think, is it the first one on Sunday at 1, and then the finals on the Monday at 7 o'clock? Like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. No one can sit through 4 hours of the snook straight off the bat like that. The only good thing is that it is staying at the Crucible, which I could not believe, by the way, when the announcement came out.
I agree.
Because if you've ever been to the Crucible, it is a sporting mecca. If you've never been, you should go. Like if you are a sports fan, if you are one of those there we have at sports fan, right? Then you need to at least tick the Crucible off once in your life because it is a special place. Even for someone like me who is a very, very, very casual snooks fan.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So all good though. Who else got a good day today? Gary.
Yeah.
Wessel Nyman again doing bits. Quarterfinal again today. Looking at it, Gilding as well. I'm surprised at that. I have to be honest. Was that the deepest he's gone in a Pro Tour for a bit of a while? I think Gilding.
He played the right last block as well, but he's been inconsistent.
Let's have a quick look. Just looking now. Look and see. I think he did make a final. He did make a final, didn't he? Oh, semi-final, sorry, against in PC9, and also as well made a final in PC6. Okay, fair enough. But and he did all right on the Euro Tour. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on him then potentially. I don't know, but it's still good to see him get in the quarterfinal.
Also, another massive shout out today. How he's thrown darts today. I think Jack's put in the chat room now. How Alan Suter threw darts to a level that he did today after doing the London Marathon yesterday. Fair play to him. Again, 1, completing the marathon and raising the money that he has, and 2, just getting it done is just brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, look, we both know Alan. We both know how much of a great guy he is on and off the hockey. To be fair, so got a lot of time. And great to see him do the marathon. And I mean, how he's gone up to Wigan and done that. It's madness. But there we go.
Yeah, it's superb. And the best bit is
Milton Keynes. Sorry, Milton Keynes, not Wigan. Milton Keynes.
We get to do it all again tomorrow as well for Players Championship 12.
Goodie for you. I will not be on stream, but I will be watching though. I need to skill some time in the office. So need to be working very hard.
But yeah, no, look, congratulations to Bo. It was sensational.
Astonishing. It's just fabulous. Fabulous for the sport.
Absolutely unreal. I agree that Dukes does need to get over the line at some stage because he was playing well, and it's just one of those ones where for a large spell of that game, like we touched on Michael Smith, he was better than Michael Smith, but Michael Smith found a way. Kevin Dukes needs to find a way to win one of these semi-finals. And do you know what I mean? Where it's doing the eye-catching stuff. He needs to find that little spark or little grit of determination from somewhere.
I agree. Totally agree with you. Simple as. It's thing is that he's playing well, obviously. Yeah. He's but the thing is that there are people that are playing well that sometimes don't get over the line in events. But I have no doubt that at some point this season Kevin Dukes will win a title. 100%.
Oh no. I agree. I did promise this last week that I would put this on the screen, so you'll get 5 seconds of this.
Oh, here we go, Philip. The Derby Conference Centre. What a place!
I did promise I'd put it on screen briefly.
You look good, man. You look good, lad. You should wear a suit more often.
It's just not me, though.
Yeah, you should wear a suit more often, my man.
I did promise I'd put it on. Right, let's go Premier League, because I think the other discussions it could get a little bit fun, I think.
You haven't even told me what's coming up for the rest of the show, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, Luke Littler winning behind enemy lines, winning in Liverpool of all places.
What did I say? What did I say about it? Home advantage means bugger all in this Premier League format. This particular season. Let's just go through it. Gezi and Clayton getting beat in Cardiff by Littler. Rock obviously hitting the 9, but then getting beat in Belfast. Yeah. Littler in Manchester, we all know what's happened there. Didn't go well for him. Rotterdam, Kian and Michael both getting beat first round. Bunting, Liverpool, getting beat by Johnny Clayton, and then Littler, of all people, winning in Liverpool. Home advantage means nothing. It means nothing. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good night, I thought. But Luke, this is going to sound really stupid, but I don't mind saying it. I didn't think Wonderboy played that well to the final. I thought semi-final. I didn't think he particularly played that well. Neither did the quarterfinal. The only difference in that quarterfinal was that Luke Humphries couldn't hit a double. As simple as plain as that. You look at the stats.
Yeah.
And that's where we are. I mean, let me just have a quick look at it now. Because I remember Rich saying this, because I remember putting this in our WhatsApp chat. Yes, as I always say, we do actually speak to each other outside the live lounge. And which I know is a big surprise to a lot of people. And I'm just going through it now, right? Let's have a look at it. His stats then. I mean, I say he didn't play that well.
He played against MVG, but MVG should have won. MVG messed the lines up, but Luke still averaged 102. He still played well. Yeah, the
Sorry, I've just realised. I said, I don't think Littler played that well, and he's averaged 97 or 102. He's averaged 97 in the quarterfinal and 102 in the semi.
Yeah, casual.
Yeah, he played shite.
Yeah, look, Humphries had chances, is the thing.
Yep. I mean, that first spell in that semi-final from Van Gerwen, that looked like prime MVG all over again. It was unplayable.
There are signs that MVG is close. Consistency is the issue. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to hide behind that. Consistency is still the issue. But when he gets it right, it is looking more and more like old Michael, where beforehand consistency was the issue and he wasn't hitting these levels, where now he is. So that there are positive signs.
The one thing that sorry, got me. Sorry, Karen.
I think the issue is the points tally Michael is now getting is causing a problem for everyone else.
Well, first off, can I just say this about that game in particular between MVG and Littler, right? Yes, I said that he didn't particularly play well. Guess what, though? Michael Van Gerwen didn't have a matched up.
No, that's what I mean.
He had chances. And that's the thing. He didn't have a matched up. So yes, I can say that they can play well. I mean, to be fair, right? I quite like the fact that who else was it? Sorry. In the final, I was looking at the Premier League table, and I didn't realise that both Clayton and Littler have already qualified for the playoffs. Officially, which is ridiculous.
Romeo done.
Yes, but going back to it, that final between him and Clayton was unbelievable. Littler was just like, I'm literally not fucking around. Quite frankly, he was like, I want to get out of here as quickly as possible. Quite rightly so, by the way, because it's Liverpool and you want to get out of there as quickly as possible. But
hi to all our Liverpool fans.
Hello, and Everton fans as well. But yeah, no, it's good. And 2-0 up the Sheshko. What a boy. So going back to it, look, MVG, I don't want to. I keep thinking that he's back, and I don't want to sound like you, PB, because I know you want him desperately to be back, which I get, I do, but I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure.
Oh no, look, the consistency is still an issue, but at least now, when he gets it right, it's the old Michael. Where beforehand it wasn't. Even if he got it right, it was only like a 99 or whatever. Now he's going back to those levels. Granted, it's far from vintage in overall, but the signs he's trending in the right direction are okay. I'm not
going
saying
back as well as you. Sorry, wait, go on. Carry on.
I'm not saying great yet. I'm saying okay, that it's going in the right direction.
Going back to your other point though about the points, for me, I don't care. I'll say it. Top 4, Romeo done. It's done. I don't see how anybody gets away from either. See the Gezi. I mean, Gezi, I think, still there. I know he's only a couple of points, only a 90 win behind, but Van Veen. But I don't see how anybody touches Gezi or MVG right now. I really don't. And I think that we've already got to night 12 and the top 4's finished.
Look, would it surprise me if it's the same? No. But I'm still convinced Luke Humphries wins a night. Whether that's enough or not, I don't. But I'm still convinced he wins a night. Now, if he wins in Aberdeen, meaning he's beaten Michael van Gerwen in round 1, then it's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm still convinced that Luke Humphries is playing too well not to win a night. Yes, he's missing doubles, but the scoring is still there. So I'm still convinced Humphries wins at least one. And if it's this week, then it's game on because he's beaten MVG in round 1.
I agree with you there, mate. But I just don't know what's happened to him. Do you know? Like, yes, you can't be consistently great all the time unless your name is Phil Taylor or Luke Littler, right? I wouldn't say MVG is consistently great because obviously we've seen in the past he hasn't been at that level that we saw in 15, 17. You know what I mean when I say I'm not disrespecting him, but
I agree.
So I don't know what the hell's happened at the moment. Luke, I'm not going to go as far as to say he's lost his aura, but I just think that I don't know if there's a bit too much pressure on the lad.
I think he's overthinking stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's overthinking.
Because obviously last year the money dropped off for him, for the ranking titles that he won towards the back end of 23. I just wonder whether in his mind he knows that the other Luke's a bit better than him.
I don't think it's got anything to do with that. I genuinely don't. I think he's overthinking his darts situation. As in the flight and stem combo, the chain. He's trying to chop and change, but then as soon as he starts missing, he goes back. He hit a 9 with the new dart setup at the Masters. But then in the Premier League, he starts missing doubles with them, and he goes back. I just think he's overthinking things. That's
possibly. But the thing is that is a darts player though in a nutshell, though, isn't it? That's a darts player in general. As soon as they're not averaging 105, I mean, look at Peter Wright for fuck's sake. You're right. If he wasn't averaging 107, 108 with every dart, even the point that he was genuinely the best player in the world when he was winning match plays and world championships and multiple TV titles, he'd still go and chop and change because he wasn't averaging 109 every time. And that's the thing. I think that, as we've always said, darts players in particular are searching for perfection that never exists in this sport. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. There's too many variables. And I don't know that I just don't know whether Luke at the moment is just a little bit thinking, like, where is my next big televised title going to come from? Yes, he won the Premier League last year. Great. And I mean that seriously. He's completed the Triple Crown, whatever that is, all the rest of it. It's great. Okay. But, and here's the big but though, you look at, I think, and I'd say he isn't playing that well. Runner-up in the Grand Prix final, runner-up in the Slam, runner-up in the Players, and runner-up in the runner-up at the Masters as well. All to Littler, and of course he's runner-up in Van Beek as well.
Yeah,
he's the European Championship. He's not like he's a bad player, is it?
The performances are good. Like he was annoyed with himself in the final leg today because he's played okay. He's put the afterburners on at times and he's found it. He's not doing a lot wrong. I genuinely think someone is going to get an absolute pasting off of him soon. When he hooks it up, I think someone is going to get an absolute pasting off of him. No, and you're right. It is there's not a lot of changes between them, but a dart player's head is a dangerous place to be because they overthink things.
Yes, a darts player's head is very dangerous in any sort of shape or form. Let's be frank about it.
Yeah, 100%. So we are going to the P&J Live in Aberdeen this week.
I actually quite like that venue. I actually don't have a problem with it. I know you like the old Aberdeen Arena. I get that.
Yeah, the old Gas and Oil Arena, whatever it was called.
Yeah, I know you like that, but of all the Premier League venues, that is to me middle of the pack. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just a bit meh.
It's the atmosphere.
It's a bit meh. I like it. I've got nothing bad to say about it. For me, at least, anyway. It was the first Premier League night, I think, ever that I covered in person. Actually, the 2020 Premier League night. Do you remember that night, Philip?
Yep.
That was a bad one the next morning. That's when we both still drank. Good Lord.
Josh Rock takes on Luke Littler, Stephen Bunting, Gerwin Price, Johnny Clayton, Gian Van Veen, and Luke Humphries, Gerwin Price. Right, let's go through it, everyone. Littler against Rock. What are we saying?
I want to say that Rock wins just for a bit of fun.
But you're not.
Nah, go on, sod it. Why not? Rock wins 6-5. Fuck it. Having a bit of fun this week on the show. It's not going to happen, but if you say something will happen with enough confidence, it will do.
Littler wins 6-3.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Do you know what? Now that Dan's not here, I'm trying to manifest chaos on his behalf.
Manifest chaos. Littler wins 6-3. Don't worry,
Okay.
we've got this.
Move on.
Stephen Bunting, Gerwin Price.
Big game, this. Big game. Because, look, I think Bunting's out the race. But if Gezi loses this, he could be. I don't get nervous, but I'm starting to get a bit shaky. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Squeaky bum time. I want to manifest chaos, but even I can't predict that. 6-4 Price.
6-3 Price.
Oh, okay.
Now,
all right.
Clayton against Gian Van Veen.
I wonder whether Johnny's may potentially start to be on the beach, my lord, on the beach. Now that he's there. He's all tight this week. I really think they're quite tight. Yeah, go on. Sod it. He wins. He wins 6-5 6-5 again. Another 6-5.
I'm going 6-4. Here's Johnny.
I can. Do you know what? For any of the games, if you told me you're picking that way, the only game that I wouldn't be able to say that you will, that I could honestly say that I could entertain your thought is Bunting Price, genuinely.
Yeah.
But the rest of the games, if you said that Rocky beat Littler like I did, and vice versa, and obviously with this game, if you said that Van Bee beat Clayton, and if you say that Humphreys or MVG wins, I'll be like, yeah, okay, I ain't got an issue with that.
Humphreys against Van Gerwen.
Must win this. It's must win. Because if MVG goes and wins this game, 7 points clear of Humphreys, and that's over a nightly win ahead. Because I think the top four's done. MVG wins it. He wins it 6-3.
6-5.
Go on, do it. Do it. Do it. You want to do it?
Luke Humphreys.
Boo. Hiss. Boo. Shocking.
So, who wins the night? And who do they beat in the final? Do you want me to do mine? Because I've already manifested chaos.
Go on, then you do it.
Luke Humphreys beats Gerwin Price in the final.
Okay. You want me to really manifest chaos?
Are you going Stephen Bunting plays Van Veen?
No, because I haven't got Stephen Bunting winning. But I tell you who is winning the night.
You're going Josh Rock winning, aren't you?
Yes, just because Dan's not here, and I was going to call him the Oracle/Genius if Josh Rock had won last week, and he's not here, and Josh Rock got knocked that first round. Sod it. I'm manifesting chaos. Josh Rock plays Gian Van Veen in the final, and Gian Van Veen wins. There you go. Let's make it interesting for the final few weeks of this Premier League season. Come on.
How we doing? Seamus from the sunny Gold Coast in Australia. Love that, my friend.
It must be bloody early for you, mustn't it?
Love that.
What time is it over there? About 7 o'clock in the morning, is it?
It'll be early, yeah. Love
Good
that.
morning to you, my friend.
Right. So the reason I did this first is because now we're going to get into some talking points and some debates. The first, has this version of the Premier League run its course?
Yes.
Is it dead?
Yes. It absolutely is.
I think most non-venue fans will agree.
I think even the venue fans now agree, to be honest. I think it's rubbish. I think if you're in venue, it used to be quite good. Because you always see a winner.
It still is for the fan in the venue.
I'm not so sure it's as good as it used to be. Because it used to be fresh. It used to be exciting. Now it's like, okay. Rob. Oh my God.
I'm not going to say it. I'll do that so people can see it.
That's incredible. Brilliant.
Yes. Before we go, Anthony is in. One of the team, Mr. Eugenia from the greatest city in the world in New York. Member of our team, member of the CDC team, and genuine top fella. We love him to bits. But yeah, no, I agree. I think it is done. However,
the question though is
correct. Yeah. This is my next point. What and how do we go, and where do we go with the Premier League? Because we've seen lots of different carnations of it. Do we go back? Which I don't think they will. They don't go back to an old one, or how do we reinvent it? What do we get that's new? How do they make it new?
Right. So here's the big question. Right? Can we, in this discussion, can we just say can we do fantasy booking? Or do we have to go with what will probably more likely happen?
Both. I want ideas. Right. What works? What doesn't?
Right. Fantasy booking is as very simple as it has been from my point of view all season, or for the last 2 seasons. You know exactly what I'm going to say. Most of the audience will probably know what I'm exactly going to say, but I will throw it out there. 2 groups of 8. They play each other, and then we have on the final night at the O2, the top 2, or the maybe get through to the 7 weeks, and then we have a 1v8, 4v5 in each league. Whoever gets through to a semi-final with each other, and then those then will qualify for the O2. We have a quarterfinal, 2 semis, final, winner of the Premier League. That's how it could be done. That's fantasy booking because it gives then 16 players the opportunity to play. They only have to play every other week, which is also beneficial for Euro Tours and Pro Tours because it means then they'll be a bit more fresher to go and play in the ranked events, which is what is more important. You know my thoughts on the Premier League. I'm not saying that it's not a big tournament, but you know me, I always prefer ranked darts over non-ranked darts. That's just my opinion, okay? So that's how fantasy booking, that's how it should be done. Yeah? But I also understand that and also as well, like you say, it does say Gary would be back, and he's right, he would be. Play 1 match a night, superb. However, I know what we're going to come back with, that it will never happen. Never. Because of venues, they guarantee that they want the big boys every year.
Correct. But if you say to fans in Nottingham, oh, by the way, you're not getting X or X.
Yeah.
And as a venue, you're going to have the ump as well because you want the pictures of X and X at your venue.
I get that, but the argument for that is that darts is now that big that isn't necessarily needed. Let's say if we go down the top 4 ranks right now, okay, you look at, you pick a random number out of a hat. Luke Littler goes into League B, Luke Humphreys goes into League A, and then 3 and 4. So Kian will go into League B, and Michael goes into League A. Mix the top 4 up, or have the top 2 in 1, or whatever. Just do a random draw. Couldn't give a shit what you do. Just do that. If you've then got at least 2 of the top 4 in your group, and then you go into a particular venue, if the venue don't like it, tough toenails. For me, at least anyway. And also as well, there's a lot of stars, say, in that top 16, or there are players there that could have been in the Premier League that will get that valuable experience. That might just become the story. So that's what I'm thinking. But I disagree there, Johnny, right? I disagree there that more players will be skipping Pro and Euro Tours. I disagree with that because they only have to play once every 2 weeks on a Thursday night. It's not like every single week where they've got to keep moving and fresh. I think that's I think it's doable. I think that's it because as well, if you've got League A and League B, or League 1 and League 2, or whatever, however you want to call it, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a difference in player potential. Say for instance, you look at the top 16, right? I'm not saying that they'll pick the top 16, but if you just take the top 16. If you have 1 and 3 and 5 and 7 and 9, and then the other person's evens or mix them up, I don't care. It's great. It's simple. I really think it would work. It will never happen because of 2 reasons. 1, like you say, venues, and 2, Sky will never have that because they want Littler, Humphreys, Van Gerwen on their screen every single week for 16 weeks to fill content, which is fine. They pay the rights money. They can do what the fuck they like. But I just think that is the way to keep it fresh. I really do.
Look, in principle, I don't dislike the idea of 2 divisions, but it'll just never happen because of the star pool. And look, let's be frank about it. It is about Littler. The rest of them, I agree. But Littler's fan base is mental.
Yep.
And if you haven't got him, take Newcastle, for instance, they get 1 shot at darts a year. And if Littler isn't there, all the Littler fans are going to have the raging ump. Well, and it's not as if they can go to another near one because there isn't.
No, I get that. But in the same breath, again, let's take the ones that are near each other, right? So Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham and Nottingham, Sheffield and Leeds, Brighton. I was going to say the O2, but it's not really that near or anything.
No.
But those ones there, right? So the O2 is obviously going to be their finals night. So if you say, or possibly Antwerp and Rotterdam, they're pretty near to one another. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying they're right next door, but they're right there. So basically, as long as you've got somewhere within an hour to go to, again, or Glasgow and Aberdeen. Again, I know they're not massively close.
3 hours, but yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it is, right? But if you've got somewhere near you there that you can go to, that's your choice. That's
the other one as well is you touched on it now. Sky have paid a lot of money.
Yes,
a lot of money for a brand new 5-year deal.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you're only having him and him every other week.
I get that. I get that, and that's why I've said. That's why I've said it would never happen. That's why I've said it would never happen. Because quite rightly, they want the best players every night for 16 weeks, Thursday from February to May. And they deserve, and they're well more than entitled to do that because they have backed the Brinks truck up to pay for the rights. So I get that. But I'm just, we said fantasy booking here. That's how fantasy booking would I do it. So, But the thing is, as well, Spoonie says it's a crap idea. I don't think it is. And I'll tell you the reason why as well. Because if you've got the two groups, you only got 4 matches a night. Yeah. You could play it to a best of 10. You do whatever you like.
First to 10?
Yeah. I think so. I think because that would be quite more interesting, in my opinion. But also, it's not just that. You only get to see that game once. It's not like in this particular format of the Premier League, whereby you see, say for instance, again, I'll always come back to this. 2024 World Match Play, arguably the greatest first round draw in history. Luke Littler is playing Michael Van Gerwen on that stage. That game would have been hyped for months and, for weeks and weeks and weeks. Yeah. This is the first time they've met in a ranked tournament. But, we've seen it 1,700 times in the Premier League this year. Okay, cool. All right.
No, look, that bit I don't disagree. And again, it is a bit tedious seeing 3 walk-ons the same in a night, and it is.
Here's one for you, right? Oh, this is a great question. Which venue would you lose in order to add another European venue in the Premier League? Well, first off,
it's a 3 straight away.
Yes.
Sheffield, Nottingham, Birmingham.
Sheffield, probably Cardiff, and Nottingham or Birmingham. You can choose between the two. I don't mind. But yeah, I'd take Cardiff out of there because I just think. Nah, I disagree, mate. It's a crap venue. You didn't even want to go there this year. You prefer going to the Curry Club.
Curry.
It's crap. It's crap. Oh yeah, I just think the venue as a whole. I just think it. Look, I'm not saying the atmosphere is not great, but the facilities in the venue are not great. I just don't think so. And by the way, there's only one place it's going. If we get another Premier League night in Europe, absolutely, we need a Premier League night there in Poland. I've said it. Need it.
Me personally, I would like to see 12 players and 2 rounds of relegation.
Okay.
For me, players have to fear jeopardy and not playing every week. Where at the moment, they know they've got 16 weeks guaranteed. There has to be some fear of not playing every week.
So here's a question. First of all, 2 questions off the back of that. Don't start the idea. 1, how would you do the relegation in terms of what weeks and all the rest of it? And 2, would you make it like golf, where only the top 8 make the cut and they get paid?
Not paid, no, because no one would sign up for it.
No, but what I meant by that was that they get the prize money. You know how it's like in golf. If you don't make the cut, you don't get a whack of the cash.
I'd maybe make the lower end less, So there is a real. I think you still have to give. You have to have prize money down
because
they're still forking out and so on. But how would I do the rounds of? See, 11's too much.
Would you maybe do 5 weeks?
In an ideal world, I'd quite like 6, 12, and then a race of 4 weeks to the finals.
Yeah, I get that. I don't mind that.
Think,
like a sort of race to Dubai sort of shit.
Yeah, or I think there has to be some jeopardy in there that they have to fight. Like the concept of Judgment Day was great. It's just a shame the last few weeks or the last few years no one got judged on Judgment Night. But the actual concept of Judgment Night was brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Or again, you do something radical where you have 2 Judgment Nights, you do a random draw, UK Open style, and there's 2 elimination matches or something. If you lose, you're gone.
Oh, I'd like that. I'd love that. 100%. I like that.
It is the thing. I think there has to be something on the line.
The problem is that... sorry, mate, go on. Carry on.
No, I just think that, could you have an Olymp you do the UK Open draw for the 12 players or whatever it is, and in the draw bracket, there's 2 red ones, and whoever gets drawn into them, that's your elimination game or something. Do you know what I mean?
I just think the problem you've got is that, especially in this particular format of the Premier League, where there's only 8 players involved, there's too many players that deserve a shot at it. Because as much as I take the mick out of it, right, it is the biggest non-ranked tournament of the lot. It's the biggest exhibition in the world. The fact it is, because it goes around Europe for 16 weeks. The players get paid an absolute effing fortune, second only to the Worlds, and it basically helps run the rest of the tour. So no matter what you think of the Premier League, and you know my thoughts on it, you have to be honest and upfront about that. Now, the problem you've got is that more than 8 players deserve to be in the Premier League. So if you're going to do that, I just struggle though to see how they go back to the 10, because I think it would work if they were playing 1 match a night and there's a relegation after week 9. I think it would work. Although maybe then, do you then maybe do the format? Maybe there's a race to qualify for the next part of it, and then in week 10 we then go back to this format, all points reset, and we go from there. I don't know.
Mason said that on the last interview that we did. He'd have a hybrid version.
Yeah.
Look, I know you said about the qualifying criteria. This will I think this is a perfect qualifying criteria. It will never happen because of the fear of players missing out.
Yes.
Because but basically, whether people like this or not, they want the best names in this. They want Littler, Humphreys, Price, Van Gerwen, which is why I've said Van Gerwen can be 21. Say Van Gerwen drops to that 21 position that he's meant to be, he will still be in the Premier League next year. There is no doubt about it. People going, oh, they can't pick him. I'm telling you, they fucking can, and they will. If he's 21 in the world, he will still be picked.
If he's number 63 in the world, he'll be there.
And the numbers that he draws. That's just that's just the realism of this. What I'd like it to be, like the FedEx Cup, the race for Dubai, at the start of the year, you pick 20, 25 events, whatever they are, TV events, Pro Tours, Euro Tours, and there is a separate ongoing race for the Premier League. And at the end of those events, the top 10, 12, whatever that is your Premier League. Now, that won't happen because of the fear of where Littler's just gone, fuck mine head, I'm not going, I can't be asked, I hate Pro Tours. And he's not in that. So that will never happen. But in an ideal world, for me, that is brilliant because it also creates a story and a narrative all year about the race for the Premier League. There is a separate race going on, which we're all glued to, like we are now, the race for the match play. We're all looking at darts rankings, who's moved. If there's a race for the Premier League, there's a sub-story and a subplot that you can look at going, he might make the Premier League.
Well,
wow.
It's also, right, here's a big thing. Big Johnny says they're just bin it off completely. Johnny, as much as that would be amazing for my side of things, you have to consider the economics here. The Premier League makes the Pro Tour run.
Tour.
Yes.
The money the Premier League makes, it props up the rest of it.
100%. And like you don't have to watch it. You don't. But I'm afraid it has to exist.
The money the Premier League generates for the ecosystem of the tour,
it's the second.
It has to.
No matter what anybody tries to say, and like as I said before, the prize money's second only to the Worlds. That's because of the amount of money that particular tournament generates. It's I don't look. I've never been a fan of it. I think it's it's a glorified expo. But this is the thing. The only reason why there's two reasons why people get so frustrated with the picks in the Premier League. One, because a certain television network has tried to sell it on the fact that it's part of a Triple Crown.
Whoa. Excuse me. That Triple Crown is a live, real thing. It is the World Premier League and the World Match Play, and I won't have any slander against it.
Is this one of the other debating points? Hashtag what's a major? Is this what's coming up next?
Not what's a major, but we are coming on to this in a minute, yeah?
Yeah, okay. I'll save myself then. Secondly, as well, because the Premier League draws so much media attention, right? And because there is no qualifying criteria, people are always obsessed with it. I can guarantee you right now, as soon as the match play is done, what is the first thing that people are going to be talking about? Not about Race for the World, it's not about Grand Prix. The race, every single year, straight after the match play, who's going to be in next year's Premier League?
100%.
Because everyone's obsessed with it.
And players start talking about, right, if you, like Johnny Clayton, I love him to bits. He'd have probably sold his left, I know he got in, but if you'd have asked at the match play last year, Johnny, give me your left arm and you're guaranteed the Premier League, he'd probably have done it.
Well, it's the same with Bunting, isn't it? Look at Bunting's interview with Sky Sports, Sky's Love the Darts podcast. Yeah. When Bunting was like, Murph asked him, quite rightly, do you care about the fact that some people said you wouldn't be in? He just went, no, I'm in. No, don't care. Because they know the amount of money that thing generates is obscene. Not because it's a bad thing, but it's ridiculous.
It's mad.
100%.
I'm interested. But the original point on this, do I think we are at a point of a change? 100%. This has run its course.
Yes.
And I'm interested to. I don't look. We won't get an early announcement or anything like this. This will be now spoken about between now and probably January the 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
And we will be speaking about this constantly. But again, like you guys in the chat room have said that. I think most people are. It's run its course. Now, I think darts has become quite bland and boring and the same.
Boring.
How are we doing, Lauren? Hope you are good.
Hello, Lauren. Good evening.
What in chat room? I want you involved in this as well. What majors would you change? What would you change them to? And also, if we are going to make new concepts, what would you bring in? Like, we've seen resets in cricket over time. We saw T20 made. We've seen the 100 made. People are evolving. Pool. We've seen Ultimate Pool made. And do you know what I mean? We've seen other things made and evolve. And I look at the major calendar, and they're all quite samey and similar. What are we changing, and what would you like to see changed in terms of tournaments and so on?
Well, I was going to say I would have an extra set play event. However, coming in for the Winmore, once the Winmore World Masters came in, I was so happy. Because,
that was one of the best changes they've made in recent history.
Absolutely, it was. Because
bringing
what
that format back is one of the best changes they've made in recent history.
Bang on. Bang on. Especially as well, because you're just coming off the set play event of the Worlds. Keep it going. I like it. I do. This is going to sound really bad, but I don't care. I honestly think that we need to have less televised darts. It's as simple and as plain as that. Genuinely, like, hear me out. Hear me out on this. Hear me out on this, right? We need to go back to just having the Worlds, the UK Open, the match play, and the World Grand Prix. Because, and I'll explain why. The Premier League is welcome today because it makes a lot of money. Fine. But the European Championship, that's great because it's a season-ending moment for the Euro, for the European Tour. But it's just another leg play event. The Players' Championship Finals, great for 3 days for the fans, in particular at Minehead. Does it offer much else? No. Does the Slam offer anything? No, not now. Not now that the criteria has changed, and it was only became a ranking title because a certain Dutchman decided that he wanted to cry about the fact that he wasn't getting into it. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? So I honestly think that there are those three in particular, I'd happily get rid of, genuinely, because they don't offer anything. The problem is with the Slam is that the group stage element of it is unique. Of course it is. But after that, it just turns into a match play. It just turns into another match play. It turns into another leg play tournament. It doesn't offer anything. Do you know? And the biggest thing that pisses me off about it is the semi-finals and the final, 2 long format games on a Sunday. You can't do that. It is so unfair to the player who's playing second. Either start the tournament on a Friday night, right? Start the tournament on a Friday night, and then go Friday, Saturday afternoon, Sunday evening, Saturday double, Sunday double, Monday night, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday double header. Because I can guarantee you right now, people will take the Monday afternoon off work and go and watch it. So go and do that, because it's not fair on the players doing the semi-finals and the final on the same day. It's not fair. I'm sorry, it's not.
No, I agree with. I don't like the Slam format, but I don't think there's too much starts. I don't think the calendar is proportioned correctly.
I also think, I do think that there is I think too much darts in the sense of the Pro Tours and the Euro Tours as well, but the thing is that the Pro Tours, you could easily bin them off potentially, or at least bring them down a little bit, or change it around a little bit. But the Euro Tours, I get why the Euro Tour needs to be so successful, because everybody wants to have a piece of the action, right? Because they want to keep growing, and I get that, right? But I know people say taking darts off TV, but the problem is that the more darts is on TV, the less special it becomes. No, Rob, I'm not saying put the final on the Monday night. No. I'm saying what you could do is you could potentially start the event on the Friday night with the group stages, or do a double session on the Monday with the final group stages. That's what I think that could happen there. But the problem you've got is that when you have got so much darts on the TV, particularly non-ranking darts, I just think it becomes a little bit bland. Like the World Series, look, well, the World Series is not great, but I get why it's there, because it spreads the gospel, and I understand that. But again, it's a leg play event. It's just, I don't know. It's difficult because darts is in such a fantastic space at the moment. As much as it is becoming a bit bland and a bit boring. Joel, that's the thing. I don't. And I would happily get rid of the World Cup, because I don't like the event. I think that the event is boring. I've never liked pairs darts. It's not my thing. And I'm being brutally honest about that. But I get that other people do. It's the same with as I said earlier about Ricky Gervais, but I don't fucking want guitar lessons. Just because you don't want to watch it doesn't mean that nobody else does. But the problem is that I do think that we are slightly getting to the point where it's saturated. It's the same with football, isn't it, Barty? You look at the amount of games on television now, right? It's a game on every night of the week. It is impossible to watch. 100%. Ludicrous.
Good to have you in. Good to see you yesterday. I don't think it's oversaturated. I just think the way the calendar. By the way, there's no easy way to solve this. I think the calendar is too back end heavy, but trying to move that forward means you'd probably have to change the season, as in you'd have to redo the whole calendar when Q score is, when the season starts, when people lose tour cards to make this work.
I don't know, because I think you could, and I stress the word could, move the slam into September, because that really doesn't make a blind bit of difference, in my opinion. Like, you could change it around. If you're going to have the Euros and you're going to have the World Grand Prix and all the rest of it, have the winners from that event qualify for next year's slam, like they do with the World Youth. That's the only one realistically that you could probably move. Although you could move the Grand Prix into September.
Move the Grand Prix, I agree with.
You could move the Grand Prix to September. Maybe move it to the... Oh, go on.
Move the Grand Prix to May.
Okay, yeah, I don't dislike that. I don't dislike that, but another major in between the Premier League, though. That's the only issue.
Don't worry. I've got a way. I've got. Help me.
Floor's yours.
So, like I said for the UK Open, the Thursday before the UK Open is a dead night in the Premier League.
Yep.
There isn't 100%. One. You just sort your event. And the same as the Thursday night of the Grand Prix, there isn't one. It's a dead one. So you have Premier League wherever on the Thursday, and then the Grand Prix then starts on the Monday, as it does now, because it goes Monday to Sunday. So it's not a massive rush for players. And then in the front half of the year, you've got the World's finishing there. But for me, the World's finishes off that season. So you've got the Masters at the end of January.
Yep.
The UK Open beginning of March. Grand Prix sometime in May. Match play in July.
London in December. Sorry.
Then you almost have August as a dead month, the way it used to be, or certainly a dead 3 weeks. There's your break. There's your clear-off period. Then you're coming back in September for the World Series finals, whether people like it or not. That it's in the calendar, so that the World Series finals in September. October, you can then have the European Championship.
And potentially the Players' Championship finals as well. You could maybe move the end of the...
And then the Slam beginning...
First week in
November.
Middle week November,
Yeah, then if the play... And then the Worlds. I think that works better for me.
100%.
It's more balanced. Because I know that means changing qualifying criteria and so on, but that spreads out those majors. I think they're distributed better.
But the thing is that I get why the PDC have to have those events in October and November, because they have to wait for the season to finish before they do it. But the Grand Prix is one that you could easily move across, because it's not that doesn't make that much of a difference. When you have that, doesn't make a difference. But I keep saying this, and I really do. Players need time off. Yes, they're managing schedule. Yeah, and I get that's why I agree with you, Barzi, around having all this stuff. Yeah,
3 weeks off in January, 3 weeks off in August.
Well, the World Series will be on in January, won't it, mate? So,
again, but that's only affecting 8 players. That's not affecting everyone. Do you know what I mean?
But that's my point, though. So it's a case of, for them, why would you not move that? Like I say, have that month off in August, Yeah, okay, there might be the Aussie and New Zealand World Series. Okay, it is what it is. We can maybe move them. That's fine. But if you give at least 3 weeks off to the players, that's surely more beneficial to your game, isn't it? Rather than finding another weekend in the calendar where we have to have more events. It's ludicrous.
Oh, no, I agree. I think, controversially, I'd move Australia and New Zealand and one other to January. Entice the players. Look, we're sending you to Australia and New Zealand in January when it's their summer.
Yeah, I get that. Yep.
Not in the and then players are more likely to go, hang on a minute. Oh, I'll have some of that.
Yeah.
I think that works better. Now, the Players' Championships, I like. I wouldn't decrease them. The way it's going is the top players are not going to go to them anyway. We've seen that. We've seen that, but they are still a massive staple for the lower ranked players. It's created the story that we've got today, so you can't decrease them. But I think we are heading towards a place where the top stars won't need to go to them.
You think that the 16 is going to be in everything, don't you?
I do, yeah. I've said this before, that I think the top 16 cut-off points will be guaranteed in everything.
The problem you've got there, though...
That frees them up not to have to worry about Pro Tours.
The problem you've got is that if the top 16 goes into everything, then how then does anybody else get into the top 16 without winning anything? That's the big issue. Plus, as well, if you say at a cut-off point that, they're in everything, but then what happens then if the top 16 changes around during the season? Like, do they then suddenly have to go to a Pro Tour? They can't qualify. They won't be able to qualify for an event because, so for instance, they can't get to a World, they can't get to a Players' Championship finals or whatever. But to be fair, though, that's really the only thing that's going to make that much of a difference, isn't it? It's the PCF. That's it. That's the player. It's the only one with the Players' Championship where they're not in everything bar the Euro Tour. And the Euro Tour, anyway, given the top 16, gets in anyway, everything.
Yeah, you just...
So...
I think it will happen. And I think it happens to protect and spread other things out. That people won't like it. And I get that. But it then frees up the top 16 not to have to go to Pro Tours. They can then go and do the World Series events that people want them in. It frees them up not having to worry about qualifying for this and so on. So I think that works. Personally, I know people won't like it. I know, Rob, I know you don't like it. But we need it to spread the game. The top players have to go to World Series events and so on. They have to. With the greatest will, right? This is going to sound really shit. But if you send... And I'm not talking about... There's a difference here. That it doesn't need to be the Premier League players, but you can send 4 Premier League players and 4 just under that you're trying to build. Does that make sense? But it's still probably in that top 16 to these events and so on. So you go, right, you 4 big boys are going there, but you're missing there. You have 4 going there, and to build that up. And then it creates more stars because we get to learn the backstories behind some of these players that are just under the top 8 level or so on. Your Danny Nopperts, for instance, your Wessel Nymans, that are top 16 players, but at the moment aren't getting World Series events and so on. So you're not building that narrative, that story. You're not learning them. Do you know what I mean?
I'm with you. I look at this now because there's a comment here from James which says, don't get why there's a Pro Tour qualifier for the World Series finals, yet the World Series final isn't ranked. You can't rank the World Series finals because the rest of the... Yeah.
I can tell you why there's a qualifier. Is because players back then went, hang on a minute, there's a huge chunk of pot of money here, and how are we supposed to qualify for that? How do we get a slice of that money? So the players wanted that tour card holder qualifier because, hang on a minute, if it's only players that are on the World Series, there's a chunk of money there that we're not getting a piece of.
And also, as well, you look at the Slam. Like, the Slam needs to change dramatically anyway. Going into 48 players, I think, is ludicrous as it is anyway. But, like, it doesn't need to be ranked. It doesn't need to be ranked at all. It doesn't add anything, and as you say, Barzy, look, no disrespect to the players who are outside the system, but if you're going to have a ranked event, yes, the Wimbledon World Masters is a bit different, and I get that. But if you're going to have a ranked event, there's absolutely no need for players to be coming in outside the system. There just isn't. Sorry. I've never really rated the Slam. You know my thoughts on it. I think it's nonsense, but that's just my opinion.
I quite, again, me personally, when you say outside the system, I class affiliate tours as part of the system.
Okay.
That is now part of the infrastructure of the PDC. And I think it's needed, and it's a necessary carrot to dangle for these players in Australia, New Zealand, Asia, North America, Nordic and Baltic. It needs that ecosystem to give those players something to shoot for as well.
But that's the thing, right? You're like, again, Rob says there, the Cross Coast Slam was the second best comp to watch. Yeah, absolutely it was. When the BDO was strong, absolutely, it was unbelievable to watch.
I agree. The cross code battle was brilliant. This is going to sound really shit. However, could you imagine if they did a cross code tournament now?
No, agreed. It would be awful.
It would be absolute demolition job.
Yeah, absolutely right. And that's again, no disrespect to the people in that system. It's just a fact. It just is.
It would be a demolition.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there, right? Since the change of it, when the BDO left, was it 2021? Was it the last one? Was it 2020? Because there was some BDO players there, wasn't it?
So 2019 was the last BDO event that was linked to the WDF. Then you had the BDO event that was at the Indigo in 2020, but wasn't sanctioned by the WDF.
But then obviously, was the last BDO groups of the Slam 2020? I think it was, wasn't it? Because that was when Wayne Warren was there. So I think that was it. Yeah. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the end. And again, Darts Island saying there, Lytton versus Laurie demolition. Yeah, right. Okay, it's a fair point. But what happens if Mitchell Laurie's not in his group? What happens if he plays?
Right now, true story, Mitchell Laurie cannot play a TV PDC event. So Correct. It wouldn't even happen. You have to be 16 to play in a PDC TV event, and he's only 15. So it couldn't happen. So it would be a demolition job.
Yeah, correct. Like I say, I just think that darts has never been in a better state in terms of on the board and in terms of the media coverage it gets. Yes, the media circus that's involved in it. Look, people have their own thoughts on what we do and what we do, but the thing is that we try and bring you guys, and again, you may have your own personal opinions on us two, on the rest of the channel. That's absolutely fine. I don't mind that. But the problem is that for me, that there are some aspects of the media that just focus on one kid that is just getting absolutely hammered. And also, we try and bring you as close as we possibly can to the sport, because we know that the majority of you in the chat room want to chat darts respectfully, and just want to get close to the game, right? So darts as a whole has never been in a better state with the media coverage it gets in terms of the exposure, with the amount of fans that want to go into the venues, and in general, just in terms of, I think that we haven't had a spotlight on this sport, I don't think certainly in my lifetime, probably going back to the 80s in terms of, again, I'm not trying to compare it because obviously free to air versus pay TV and all the rest of it, but I think that's probably the 80s was the last great boom period in darts before this is where we are now. I just worry that while we're trying to capitalize on it, I just worry that we are getting a little bit oversaturated. And I just don't want that to happen.
So my next one is, we've spoken about like calendar changes and whatever. What tournaments if you could change format of a tournament, what are you changing? What do you
Slam
want to
straight
see?
away.
What do you want to see that's new?
Get rid of it. No. I mean, I like the group stage idea of it. I think that's pretty good. In fact, what I would do, as I said to you before, I'd start on a Friday night and then move it or I go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but all 3 double headers, and then go from there. Round of 16, Tuesday, Wednesday, quarterfinals, Thursday, Friday, semi-final Saturday, final Sunday. Bob's your uncle. Thank you very much. I'd also, or what you could now, I suppose you couldn't do that. You couldn't put a quarterfinal on Saturday afternoon, then a semi-final Saturday night. No, it wouldn't work. I'd also look to try and change the Players' Championship finals a little bit, I think. I potentially look to play rounds 1 and 2 on Friday. So, yes, people are going to miss out maybe on Friday afternoon, but you play best of 11 on Friday, then we move up to best of 21 on Saturday all day. I also think that the World Grand Prix needs a bit of a change. First 2 sets is nonsense. Give me first of 3. And then just do it over 3 nights.
Yeah, I like the doubling. I think the doubling double out stays.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd like to see a 1 leg 1001 shootout.
But the problem is that what would you again? All right, fine. Fantasy booking, I'll let you have that. Why not?
I'd like to see the 1 leg 1001 shootout, or the News of the World best of 3 all the way through.
I don't mind that. I don't mind.
That's cutthroat, and I think that's superb.
Yeah. I haven't got an issue with that. I want to say, I mean, for me at least, me, my thoughts on it. I don't like pairs darts. It's not my thing. That's just a personal opinion. People like the World Cup. You go for it. I get rid of it. I don't think it's necessary. I understand people like it, but for me, that's the first thing I'd do if I was ever in charge of the PDC. Get rid of it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I'm not a massive fan of the World Cup, but I do like the pairs element. Does that? I'm torn on that.
In the old format, 100% it needed to be binned. The old format, it needed to be binned, and that the move to the pairs format, which we got the exclusive on, by the way, must be said, but the move to the pairs format had breathed some new life into it all the way through, I think. But I would be quite happy with the World Cup. Yeah, Rob says that every team. I'd be quite happy with that. Or we do it every 4 years because that makes it more special. That's just my opinion.
I like every other year alternating with the Ryder Cup. How are we doing? Great show. Okay. Hope you are good, mate. So yeah, me personally, I'd like to see that bought in than just the same. It's like best of 21. It's just gets a bit
more, isn't it? So many games at the moment, so many events are like best of 21 legs, or best of 19. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't get the pulses racing.
Like even World Series events, you make each event slightly different. Where you have one best of 3, one of them 1,000. Do you know what I mean? You make them different. You make each World Series event a little bit different or something like that.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I just think that something just needs a freshen. It just needs something at the moment.
I mean, you look at the ticket again. Final thing I think on this one, mate, and there's been a lot of talk about it in chat room tonight, which is the ticket sales. Now, is there a way to change that around? Because I don't know if there is.
I don't think there is.
The only way to do it is to change venues. And I'll be happy to change venues at any single one of them, apart from one, as we all know. But it may have to make commercial sense to move it. And I never wanted to move it.
I don't think in anything, including, I'm not talking about darts, I'm just talking in general. There is no ticketing system that works. And for the want of a better phrase, it's just suck it up, buttercup, and get on with it. There's no easy way of doing it, right? If you want to ticket, they all go on sale at the same time, and it's a free-for-all. There's no other...
The problem you've got is that because of Wonder Boy, let's be honest, because of Wonder Boy, people subscribed to PDC TV and double the numbers overnight, pretty much, didn't they? It was about that, wasn't it? It was about double or triple the numbers overnight.
But let's be fair, people only buy it because they get priority ticket window.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the only reason they buy it.
Yeah, of course, but that is a reason why to buy it. But on that basis, because there used to be, it was about 7,000-8,000 people that bought it, maybe about 10 at one point. Maybe I might be being disingenuous there, but it might be about 10,000-15,000 people that had access to it beforehand, before Wonder Boy.
Something like that,
10 to 15. So now we're looking at about 40 to 50,000 people that have got access to PDC TV from the last estimates that we were told by the PDC, wasn't it?
I think it's more than that now.
Yeah, exactly. So my point is that as more and more people buy it, the chances of you getting a ticket are less and less. And then what the only thing is that you can do is that the PDC, obviously the priority window for, that second priority window they have now, which is after the 24-hour mark, where tickets go on sale to people who have signed up to the priority window but not signed up to PDC TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that needed? I don't know. Because by that point, it's sold out anyway.
From a data collection point, it's gold.
Oh, of course it is. But, is it actually needed in general? Because it's sold out probably, you look at the match play tickets this year. Tables are sold out for the whole weekend. Well, tables sold out completely for about 1 o'clock. Yeah. And they went on sale at 12.
So I don't think there is a perfect way of getting the tickets right. I just think that, and that's not just not just darts. That's in general. Look at away way. Summer.
Yeah. Absolutely right.
It is the thing that's just tickets.
Coldplay the other year.
Yeah, that's just the way the world works.
I tell you what it'll be interesting. Look at what happens when you try and get a ticket for AJ Fury. You ain't got a fucking open house chance. Let's be frank about it.
Yeah, completely. Right? And like I say, so this isn't just darts. This is a overall.
Again, but this is the thing, right? You look at it again, but I tell you what does work actually. One thing that does work, so obviously there is in cricket for the members back, for the big international match days, when India come and the Ashes come. And to be fair, it's been happening now for about 3 years. There's been a balancing system, right? Where you could apply for tickets. Same with Wimbledon. Look at Wimbledon. Maybe the PDC needs to start doing that. Maybe the PDC needs to say you can put a ballot in, and then if you get it, you get it. You don't. That might be the fairest way to do it. I don't know, because it works. It works for cricket. There are the members who pay, the 300 quid a pop or whatever it is. I'll take a look at Edgbaston. The members you pay full membership for £250. You can then get access to the tickets for each day at the Ashes, right? Then there's the people in the Priority Club who then pay 40 quid, but you can still get tickets. And then there's the people in the ECB Supporters Club, which gets a certain amount of tickets for the event, which you can go and get. But the majority of the tickets each day go to the people in the ballot. And they are massively oversubscribed for India and Australia. They're always after the test matches, right? Why don't the PDC do that? And the same with Wimbledon. You can only apply for 2 tickets a day at Wimbledon. That's it. You can only apply for 2 tickets and you get given them. And if you get a ticket, great. If you don't, come back next year, right? It's the same with Strictly Come Dancing. I know that's not sporting, but my mum has been trying to get Strictly tickets for 20 plus years. She's been trying to go to see Strictly Come Dancing live at the BBC at Elstree. She's never got a hope in hell's chance at it. She's never got even a look in, right? That might be the fairest way to do it. Maybe go and start certainly for the Worlds and specifically for the match play, because that's the venue that can never be moved, in my opinion. But I think it will have to be because of business reasons. But certainly for the match play, possibly for the Worlds, because the other events, you can move venues and go bigger. Maybe for the match play, that might be the issue. That might be the solution. Go for a ballot. You might go for a ballot and see if you get tickets. You don't have to apply for a certain day. You just say, I want to have 4 tickets for the match play. If you get it, great. If you don't, suck it up. Come back next year. Because that's the fairest way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Just something you said about the media, and Paul's got a comment here, and I don't disagree to a point. Now, this is one thing that the other side doesn't do at all. Now, did I watch any of the Dev Tour? No. do I know what's gone on because the PDC send out a press release to us all so we can find out what's going on? The WDF side of it and the amateur game don't send out press releases, so we don't know what goes on. If they send out releases so we could read them and find out, we can then talk about it. I didn't watch any of the Dev Tour, but I know the winners because we get informed and so on. With that much darts, you can't watch it all. Now, if there's stuff sent out about like the Grand Prix, like the England Grand Prix or GB Grand Prix, we can then talk about it. But if we don't know, because you can't watch everything, so if stuff gets sent out to, I'm not talking about just us, I'm talking about in general. If stuff gets sent out to the media, you can report on it and so on. But if you don't get press releases and so on, you're shooting in the dark.
Yeah, absolutely right. Again, as we keep saying it, if we don't see it, you can't be it. And this is the problem. We don't get anything from the WDF. We have invited people from the WDF onto this show. We've asked to try and send press releases. We tried to send everything. And in darts, all the rest of it, people aren't interested.
There you go. Rob's a massive darts fan. Didn't even know it was on.
Huge.
So if darts fans don't know these things are on, you're up against it. Is the thing. So it's tough. Is the thing where communication has to be better.
Massively.
Like we get press releases from the JDC as well, and so on. So we know what's going on at all times. To be fair, we even got press releases from the ADC about the weekend winners and so on. So we know that. So did I watch any of the? Or no, sorry, I watched fleeting parts of the stream just to see what it looked like. But the other weekend, did I watch any of the ADC? No, but we knew what was going on because they were telling us, as in they were emailing press, right? This has happened. This has happened. So we can then speak about it.
Yep, it's simple as that. Just let us know. We'll report it as much as we possibly can.
Again,
and we'll say it every week. Nick Rolls, open invitation, my friend. Come on, come and have a debate. Come and speak to us. We're not. We don't. We're not scary. Yeah. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. Phil is. I'm not. Communication is key, Lauren. Bang on. Yeah. Plenty of stuff going. Yeah, plenty of stuff going on across the world. By the way, at the weekend.
The World Series picks were announced for Copenhagen and New York.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I get it, but disappointed that there wasn't a bit of change from the Premier League lineup. So in the Nordic and Baltic Darts Masters, Josh Rock isn't there. James Wade is. And for the US Darts Masters, it's MVG not there. James Wade is. And look, I get it. I understand it. I just don't like it. I understand why. I just would like a little bit of variety. I get it. I understand it.
Who cares? Don't matter. Honestly, it don't. Like it's an unranked. Getting home back to it, I've got apathy for the World Series. Congrats to the players that are going. Enjoy it. I know you love New York, PB. Will you actually have you found a way to go yet without having to remortgage your house?
I think so.
Oh, Anthony. Why is MVG not there?
I'm guessing he didn't want to go. He's top four, so would have been an invite. I don't know this. I haven't spoken to him. My guess is he didn't want to. And putting 2 and 2 together, it probably means we see him at the World Cup because the last few years he's missed the World Cup and gone to New York. So the guess is we'll see him in Frankfurt.
Weird that, isn't it?
I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing how this works.
It's amazing. No, I'm not going to do that joke because that's not fair. You know which joke I was going to do as well, PB. I'm going to keep that one to myself.
Yeah, I'm guessing that, look, MVG would have been invited to New York. He's top 4 in the world. That's the criteria. My guess is that he's got something on with the kids and the family or something like that.
Family comes first.
That would be my guess. But yeah, look, I get the picks. I just like to. And by the way, congratulations to James Wade. I think James deserves those call-ups as well. He was unlucky not to be in the look. He was unlucky not to be in the Premier League. I'm not saying he should have been in, but he was unlucky. He was unlucky. The same as Noppet. Noppet got Saudi and Bahrain.
Yeah,
he was unlucky not to be in the Premier League. There's also a massive case for James Wade. So I'm pleased that he's got them.
You must be absolutely bloody knackered. You praising Wadey.
No, I'm good.
Can we send this clip to Wade and to Wadey? Can we send it? Say, look, Barzy doesn't hate you.
I'm genuinely pleased that he got the. Like I say, I said the same about Noppet in Bahrain and Saudi. I'm glad that.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm pleased that James Wade has got the call.
Speaking of the world of darts, by the way, Ben Robb, Johnny Tata winning on the DPNZ tour.
Yeah,
at the weekend.
Ben Robb's playing well at the moment.
Yeah,
he played well at the Super Series when he was over here, and he's playing well at the moment.
And also over on the Nordic Baltic, Darius Abadauskas again, Mio Varilla as well, picking up a title as well.
Laban.
Laban. So really getting his first title on Sunday. First ever title on there on the Euro Tour. Very, very good stuff. On the Nordic Baltic Tour. And Sebastian Wiaczki, once again, showing why he's very, very good. Top of the Dev Tour. Already a couple of titles for him as well. James Beeson, I think, as well. Did he get a title?
Yeah, James Beeson won his first PDC title. Again, won many titles in the WDF circuit. Now, getting some PDC silverware. And
Leon Weber as well, going quite well, therefore, in Germany, the German there over at Milton Keynes too.
100%. You guys have absolutely rocked it for us as always. I'm just checking the. Oh no, it's all right. Next week. I'm shock horror. I am actually missing the live lounge on Monday, the 11th of May. So that night, we've already pre-sorted it. You will have Dan Simpson, Jarlath Eaton, and Cam McFarlane that night.
And Barzy is going to be celebrating the relegation party down at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Aren't you?
I'm not going to lie. I have been. I have got a ticket for the Tunnel Club, and I wasn't turning it down.
I get that. You wouldn't sit with the pledge, would you? That's not your style.
I will be in the Tunnel Club for Spurs Leeds on Monday Night Football, so I'm not turning that one down. But no, I'm here next week, then not the week after. But look, you guys have absolutely rocked it for us. One last time, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for us because we massively appreciate it as always. But I've been Phil Bars, Jarlath Eaton. We have been Online Darts. We have been the Live Lounge. We'll see you all very, very soon. Bye. Down in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Jarlath. Thanks for being in the Barney Army.